Next question from Ariel Metropolis.
Thank you, Adam. Senator Ayotte, as a U.S. Senator, you were staunchly pro-life. But now you've promised not to change New Hampshire's current abortion law, which allows an abortion for up to 24 weeks. Would you sign off on any attempts to strengthen abortion rights in New Hampshire, such as codifying them into state law?
Ariel, I have always thought that this should be an issue left to the states, and that's exactly what the Supreme Court did in the Dobbs decision. And New Hampshire passed a law that gives women the freedom to obtain an abortion up to 6 months of pregnancy for any reason. And in the last 3 months, if God forbid a woman has a medical emergency or a fatal fetal anomaly, she can still obtain an abortion. I support that law, and as governor, I will not change it. I believe it was a consensus of the state and that we should not reopen that law.
So if something came to your desk to strengthen it, you would not change the state law?
Ariel, I believe it's really important we have this consensus in place where women have the freedom to obtain an abortion up to 6 months, and obviously exceptions in the last 3 months. So I believe that consensus is important to respect. I've been very clear that if something more restrictive comes to my desk, I will veto it.
Senator Morse, your opponent has said she won't change New Hampshire's current abortion law and that she would veto any legislation that would be more restrictive for abortions. What's your position on this?
Well, let me be very clear to the public what we did. We did not ban abortion in New Hampshire. You know, I worked pretty compassionately with my wife, my daughter, the women in the Senate to pass a law that said in the first 6 months that a mother and her doctor and her family could make a choice. But in the third trimester, we wouldn't allow partial birth abortion in New Hampshire. And we protected the life of the mother. I supported it then, and I'd support it now.